really thin wire. I think I got it a long time back when I was doing another boat in a dollar store. And what I'm actually doing is just winding it around in circles here till I get a spiral, and I'll end up with this here. I needed tweezers maybe for this because it's small, which I'm going to paint kind of a brown-ish color, maybe a bit browny sand, but it's going to be a rope on the ship. I must do 2 or 3 of these just for the fun of it. Stick them on as a little extra. You know, detail is what really makes a boat. So I'm just working on that at the moment. But I mean, you know, I had to solder the flag post back on because it broke off, and I knocked a life-saving thing off, you know, because I was working on the stand and that. So there's little things that happen. I've got to touch up the propellers again. But, you know, we're really close now. Yeah, so yesterday I was putting on these blocks and I painted them. And I've got an old board I got from around the beach area. It was on a lane there, kind of just off the beach, coming off the beach. There's nobody on the beach anyways, so, because Paris isn't allowed to travel down here, so you can walk and nobody says anything. But I found this just on the side of the edge of the beach, like the actual road side of the beach, and it looked really nice. I was going to put the coat hanger forks on this, but I've decided it'd be great for the boat as a stand because it's all made out of bits and pieces, and this another piece I found. I made these stands last night, but I didn't like that the boat wobbled, so I put these sticks on the top to expand it a little wider, and you can't really see them. And so the boat sits quite nicely on top here and doesn't wobble too much or anything like that. There you go, see? There's the boat. I used a dinky toy chain. It was actually for a fodder truck, I think. It was laying around. I used that, weakened and used it. I made, look, there's little ropes from wire that I made yesterday. Aged a little bit of this stuff. I like the aging on this boat because of the deck. And over here's another 2 of the ropes that I put in. And I put chains on this little crane as well. So, you know, I had to fix something here I broke. You know, I've had little things, you know. But it's done. For the video and for everybody, it's done. We've done enough. I even put on the little lifeguards on the side there to add kind of a character to it that looks a bit more real. So I've added an extra light, searchlight in some places, just out of my own whim. And I'm quite happy with it, so there you go. I'll take some photographs and videos of it and run it off, and we're done. Yahoo! I even had a drink because of it last night. Well, we've come a long way, huh? From the 17th of March around then. So when I started, and the lockdown started on the 17th of March. And about a week ago we had it lifted a little bit to 100. We're allowed to travel 100k in France here, but we still have, you know, the restaurants and everything closed. But so I've done 64 days on the boat, and it turned out really quite nicely. So I'm quite happy. Yeah, I just did a few things in this last little while, like ropes out of a wire and put them on the deck. What else was there? There's small things I did to clean it up. I put chains from a dinky toy on for the anchors and that to make it look more realistic. And of course I painted out the bottom of the hull to a better color scheme as you saw in the video. So there you go. So what would I do differently? That is the question. You know, criticizing yourself maybe. But what would I do differently? I think, you know, there's all these ifs and buts, you know, what would I do differently? But I wish I had a little bit better wood for the hull, but that wasn't basically going to be the case because I couldn't get to a hardwood store, so using construction wood. And it did work out, but the amount of filling of little marks and holes and sanding and filling and sanding to get it right was pretty painful, but it did work out in the end, you know, and it's fine. It looks lovely. The deck, I think, is one of my main things. When I did the deck, I used a kind of a hardboard that I had here. And I'm kind of sorry I didn't use the plywood. I did have a piece of plywood, I should have used it. The deck has a little roughness to it that I didn't like. And the other thing I do with the deck too is I clean it and maybe lay some kind of foundation paint on it before I went ahead and started putting things on it. Maybe in black so I can make plank lines, or plank line it before and then put the stuff on and I can just touch up. So I do that differently and it would be a bit more professional looking. So that's another thing I would do better. There are a couple of other things. I don't want to criticize myself too much, you know. But on the side of some of these decks is cardboard, and the cardboard didn't turn out that great. I'm beginning to use tin, and I prefer it. And one of my big breakthroughs with a lot of this was the copper wire, which I'm using for parts of the mast and that. It's very easy for little rings for, you know, lifeguards and for other things. So I'm really finding that as a great useful tool for me. But the sides of these decks could have been done maybe in something else. I might do the next one in tin, the decking, like the upper decks in tin, because I'm slightly better at that because I did metalwork for so many years. So anyways, I added the little ropes and I was pleased with that and the chains, but otherwise, you know, it looks pretty cool and you look at it. So, well, there you go. 64 days and we're done. And just want to say thanks to a lot of my subscribers that followed along through these 64 these episodes we've done, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just going to pop up a video of beginning to end